Hi, it's Laura Lynn from Teddy Bear Academy and Teddies by Laura Lynn. And in this video, I'm going to explain the parts of the teddy bear patterns. We're going to start with this pattern that was in a magazine. Typically, of course, they'll have a picture of the finished bear, and then they'll have the list of materials that you'll need. And then they have the directions. The other thing that they have, of course, is the pattern. In most teddy bear patterns, they will have each piece displayed once, but you may need to cut it multiple times. Let's go over some of the anatomy of the teddy bear pattern. First, they're going to have the body. Different teddy bear patterns have different ways they have the body. This particular pattern has just this one body pattern piece, but if you see here, it says cut one and then one reversed. So what that means is you're going to cut out one piece with the body facing this way, then you're going to flip the pattern piece and then trace out and cut the second body piece. So you will have two body pieces with this pattern. And you can see the same as with this. This is the side of the head. You will cut one and then you will flip the pattern piece over and cut another. That's why it says one reversed. With foot pads, you don't need to flip it over. That's why it just says cut two. With the ear on this pattern, you will actually cut a total of 4. So it says cut 2 and then flip it over and cut 2 more. That's the 2 reversed. This one, because it's an angel bear, had a set of wings, kind of like the ears. You're going to cut 2, flip it over, and cut 2 more. Now this is the arm. Different teddy bear patterns have different types of arms. This one just has a plain arm with no paw pad. So you're going to cut 2, flip it over, and cut 2 more. And then this particular pattern has a one-piece leg. So you're going to cut one, flip it over, and cut another because it says cut one and one reverse. These will be folded in half when you stitch it. And then this is the gusset for the head. With the gusset, you typically just cut one. Now we're going to go over a couple of the items on each pattern piece. We're going to start with the body again. I'm going to take a look at some of the notations here. You're going to notice this arrow, and the arrow refers to the direction of the nap of the fur. And when I'm talking about the nap of the fur, we're talking of the way the fur lies. And you can tell here by looking at the side that the fur is going in a down position here. So when you are preparing to trace out your pattern pieces on your bear, the first thing you'll want to do is take your fur, determine what direction the nap is lying. You may have to look at all of the sides. This piece is fairly easy. And now I can see that it's going down this way. So then I'm going to flip my fur over. I'm going to take a Sharpie, double check that I still have it going the right direction. So the fur is going down this way. That's the direction the nap is going. We're going to draw an arrow on the back of the fabric. That's to remind you what direction the nap's going. So when you place your pattern pieces on the back of the fur to trace them out, you will make sure that the arrow on each pattern piece is going in the same direction as the arrow you drew on the back of your fur piece. And you will notice that there are arrows on all of the pieces that are going on fur. The paw pad, you'll see, does not have an arrow because it's just going on a piece of felt or ultra suede. So there is no nap, there's no fur direction. Now here's an explanation of a few of the other markings on the pattern. That is that the body and the arms and the legs should have joint markings. These dots here will need to be transferred from the pattern to your fabric. The arm has a joint too, and you'll actually only have 2 of these, one facing this way, and when you flip this over, there'll be another one, another joint. The arm or the leg with the joint marking on it is the inner arm or the inner leg. You will also have 2 arm pieces with no joint marking on it, and those are the outer arms. You'll see how the leg has one too. There are going to be a few places where you're going to leave it open and not sew the piece entirely shut. So you'll transfer the markings from your pattern to your fabric, from here to here, make a little hash mark so that you remember to stop sewing. You're going to leave this area open so that you can turn the piece right side out. On the body, there is also usually a marking where you're going to leave a slight opening to insert the neck joint. Now on the head, although it doesn't say so, you're going to leave this bottom area open. This is the neck opening, and you're going to leave this open for turning and stuffing the head. This pattern designer chose to leave it open at the top from here to here. And there is another marking on this pattern that's not on all patterns, but you see this dotted line. That is the stitching line. So you've got a seam allowance of about 1/8 of an inch, maybe a little more. This one is a one-piece leg that gets folded over, and it has the markings here and here to leave it open at the top for this particular pattern. You will also, though it doesn't say so, when you fold this together and stitch it closed, you're going to leave it open at the bottom. And you'll see they don't have any stitch markings at the bottom, because this bottom of the foot is where you're going to insert the foot pad. Now, as I mentioned before, many of the pieces on most teddy bear patterns will tell you they'll just give you one piece for the piece. For instance, a bear has 2 legs, but they're only giving you 1 leg pattern piece. They direct you to cut one this way and then to cut one reversed, which means to flip it over. Well, this is one of my patterns from teddybearacademy.net, and I am going to show you what this one looks like. We've got the cover, which has a picture of the sample bear. It tells you how tall it was. It's got a list of supplies that you'll need. And now we do have some pages of directions, and then we come to the pattern itself. Now this particular pattern has 2 side pieces of the head and then the head gusset. Now, even though on the paper one head is going this way and the other head's going this way, you'll see that the arrows are the same, oriented in the same direction. So we want the fur to go the same direction on both side head pieces. And then we've got on this one 2 body pieces, a right and a left. It's got the markings where you're going to skip a stitch to leave a slight opening for the neck joint. You're leaving it open here so that you can turn the piece after you've stitched it together. We've got the arrows that indicate the direction of the fur nap and the joint markings. We've got 2 of the legs here. One is an inner leg, it has the joint marking. The other is an outer leg, it does not have a joint marking. We also have an inner arm, which has a joint marking, and it's cut off because this one will have a paw pad sewn onto it. Here are the other 2 legs and the other inner arm. They're facing the other direction. And then we have the 2 outer arms. You can see they're the full arms with the paw area. There are no joint markings because it's an outside arm. We've got all 4 ear pieces, and then we have the foot pads, and then the paw pads. If you would like a free teddy bear pattern, you can go to the link below and get a copy of Sebastian, the 9-inch teddy bear.